Noah, tell me about your art.
Well, so how I made my art was I started with this thing. I started with this one, and I used some oil pastels, and I knew that it resisted. So I made just some circles. I like to do abstract art, and I just made some circles and made like a cool, weird thing, and then I painted over it with marker watercolors, and then for this one, which was my favorite, what I did was there was some salt here. I took it off too early, so it didn't work. But there was salt here, and you can kind of see it. But then after I got this really wet with some rubbing alcohol, and then I scratched some of the paper, the layer of the paper off, and then it made like kind of a whitish because the paint didn't really go that deep down. And then I used a palette knife, and then I made little divots in it and stuff.
Can you talk about how you also used a palette knife to get texture on there?
For this one? For this one, I used a palette knife to go back and forth like that, and also to go up and down like that.
So I can see the texture.
And it's kind of the same thing on this.
Where you did your name. Oh, are there any other techniques you discovered today?
This one. These ones are really cool because you put the rubbing alcohol on first before you put the paint on. So you put the rubbing alcohol on first, and then you put the paint on top, and it kind of like shows up like this, and then you can dab the paint off, and then it dries up like this. And
so I demonstrated how to put the rubbing alcohol second, but you discovered if you did it first, it made it different.
Yeah.
Well, cool. If you had to name this art, what would you call it?
Rubbing alcohol, because I used a lot of rubbing alcohol in it.
Rubbing alcohol experiments. I see your name here too. Was that through the rubbing alcohol?
Yeah, it was like the same as this and this technique.
Cool. All right, thank you for sharing your art.